Welcome, Seeker. Welcome to a space beyond the noise, a quiet sanctuary where ancient truths whisper on the edge of awareness. You are here because a call has echoed within you, a yearning for more. Not just more things, but more flow, more ease, more of the luminous abundance that life promises. You've been drawn to the title, Manifest Cash, the rare book that makes you a money magnet. Perhaps you envision a dusty tome, filled with arcane symbols and forgotten spells. The truth, however, is both simpler and infinitely more profound. The rare book we speak of is not bound in leather or hidden in some secret vault. It resides within you. This manuscript is unseen, yet it is the most powerful determinant of your reality. It's an energetic blueprint, constantly being written, revised, and read by the universe. Its ink is your feeling, its script your belief, its pages, the very moments of your life. And yes, when understood and consciously authored, this inner manuscript possesses the undeniable power to turn you into a magnet, drawing towards you the resources, the opportunities, the cash you desire, often in ways that defy logical explanation. Forget frantic effort, endless striving, and shouting your desires to the wind. The path to becoming a money magnet is quieter, deeper. It's a journey inward, into the sacred silence where your true power lies dormant, waiting to be awakened. Over the next 15 chapters, we will embark on this journey together. We will move through 3 phases. First, awakening, understanding, the nature of this magnetic manuscript and how it shapes your world. Second, deepening, learning the subtle arts of editing this manuscript, infusing it with the energy of abundance. And finally, mastery, embodying the reality of your desires, living as the money magnet you inherently are. This is not about quick fixes or surface-level tricks. This is about aligning with the fundamental laws of energy, understanding the vibrational frequency that attracts wealth, and trusting in divine timing. So find a comfortable space. Allow your breath to deepen. Let the outside world fade for just a moment. Prepare to turn the pages of the most important book you will ever encounter, the one held within the library of your own soul. Our exploration begins now with the first step of awareness, recognizing the unseen blueprint that governs your life. Part 1. Awakening, unveiling the magnetic manuscript. Chapter 1. The unseen blueprint. Have you ever stood before a mirror, truly, observing the reflection? You see your eyes, your hair, the lines etched by laughter or worry. The mirror doesn't invent this image. It simply shows you what is. It reflects the form placed before it, faithfully and without judgment. In much the same way, the world around you, your circumstances, your relationships, your financial reality, acts as a grand living mirror. It doesn't randomly create your experiences. It reflects the unseen patterns, the energetic design held within you. This design, this inner architecture of reality, is what we call the magnetic manuscript. This manuscript is not static. It's a dynamic, ever-evolving blueprint. It's scribed not with physical ink, but with the potent energy of your focus, your predominant feelings, your deepest assumptions about life, about yourself, and yes, about money. Every thought, every emotion, every ingrained belief adds a word, a sentence, a paragraph to this internal script. And the universe, like a faithful mirror, reads this script and reflects its content back to you as your lived experience. If your manuscript is filled with narratives of lack, struggle, and not enough, the mirror of reality will dutifully reflect those very circumstances. You might work harder, push against the tide, yet find yourself facing the same frustrating limitations. This isn't a punishment, it's simply the law of resonance in action. The outer world is mirroring the blueprint held within. Conversely, if your magnetic manuscript begins to resonate with themes of ease, trust, sufficiency, and gratitude, the reflection must change. Opportunities appear as if from nowhere. Resources flow more freely. Synchronicities guide your path. This isn't magic. In the conventional sense, it's the natural consequence of altering the blueprint being reflected. Becoming a money magnet, therefore, begins not with changing the world outside, but with understanding and consciously revising the unseen blueprint within. It begins with acknowledging the power of your own internal narrative. Let us consider Ilara, a woman whose hands knew the earth intimately. She tended a small garden, hoping to coax life from the stubborn soil, dreaming of selling her produce at the local market. Yet her garden remained sparse, mirroring the constant worry knotting. Her stomach, weeds seemed to thrive more than her vegetables, and the yields were barely enough for her own table, let alone for sale. Ilara felt trapped in a cycle of hard work and meager results. She looked at her parched soil and saw only scarcity, unaware that the garden was merely reflecting the barren landscape of her inner beliefs about provision and worth. Her magnetic manuscript was deeply etched with lines of "It's always a struggle" and "There's never enough." Her outer world had no choice but to agree. The first step towards rewriting this manuscript isn't about forceful action, but quiet observation. It's about becoming aware of the connection between your inner state and your outer reality. Today, engage in a simple practice of mindful observation. For just 5 minutes, sit quietly and observe your immediate surroundings. Notice the objects, the sounds, the atmosphere. Then gently turn your attention inward. What feelings are present? What thoughts are circling? Without judgment, simply notice. How might your outer world be reflecting your inner state right now? Is there a sense of clutter or peace, scarcity or abundance, constraint or freedom? Don't try to change anything, just observe. This simple act of seeing the connection is the first key to unlocking the power held within your magnetic manuscript. You are beginning to read the blueprint. Chapter 2. The Ink of Emotion. The magnetic manuscript is not written with logic alone. Its most potent, vibrant, and fast-acting ink is emotion. Feelings are the language the universe understands most clearly. They are the energetic charge that gives power to your thoughts and beliefs, etching them deeply into the blueprint of your reality. Think of your emotional state as the fundamental vibrational frequency you are broadcasting. Like attracts like, the frequency you emit determines the frequency of experiences, people, and yes, resources that flow back to you. If your dominant emotional state is one of worry, fear, or frustration about money, you're essentially using that dark, heavy ink to write more reasons to worry, fear, and be frustrated onto your manuscript. The universe doesn't judge the emotion, it simply responds to the vibration. It reads the frequency of lack and faithfully provides circumstances that match it. This isn't about blaming yourself for feeling negative emotions. They are natural human experiences. It's about recognizing their creative power and understanding that consciously cultivating different feeling states is key to changing your financial reality. The frequency of abundance feels different. It resonates with joy, gratitude, trust, peace, and a sense of sufficiency, even before the physical evidence arrives. When you deliberately cultivate these feelings, you are using golden, luminous ink to revise your magnetic manuscript. You are sending out a clear signal, a higher vibrational frequency that says, "I'm open, I'm receptive, I am aligned with prosperity." And the universe, responding to this frequency, begins to orchestrate circumstances that reflect it back to you. Consider Matteo, the potter. His hands shaped beautiful clay vessels, yet his heart was heavy with discouragement. He'd pour his soul into each piece, but sales were slow and rent loomed large. Walking through the market, seeing others succeed while his own stall remained, or quiet, filled him with a familiar blend of envy and despair. This emotional cocktail became the very ink writing unseen, unappreciated, unsuccessful onto his internal manuscript. One afternoon, utterly disheartened, he sat slumped in his studio. He picked up a flawed, cracked pot he'd set aside. Instead of frustration, a wave of unexpected compassion washed over him. For the pot, for himself. He decided, just for the joy of it, to mend the crack using a traditional technique with gold lacquer, celebrating the imperfection. As he worked, a feeling of quiet satisfaction, of finding beauty in brokenness, began to fill him. This subtle shift in emotion, this moment of finding peace in the process rather than focusing on the outcome, was like changing the ink. He didn't know it yet, but he had just written a new line onto his manuscript, one vibrating with acceptance and appreciation. Your practice today is the emotional awareness check-in. Several times throughout your day, pause for just a moment. Close your eyes if possible, take a breath, and simply ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Don't judge. The feeling, don't try to force it to change immediately. Just name it silently to yourself: anxiety, calm, boredom, hope. Acknowledge its presence. This practice builds the crucial muscle of emotional awareness. By noticing the ink you are currently using, you gain the power to choose differently later. You become conscious of the vibrational frequency you are broadcasting, the first step towards intentionally tuning it. Chapter 3. Erasing Limiting Scripts. Within your magnetic manuscript, beneath the fresh ink of your current emotions often lie older, faded scripts, the ingrained beliefs and assumptions you've carried perhaps for years about money, worthiness, and what's possible for you. These limiting scripts act like energetic roadblocks, hindering the flow of abundance even when you consciously desire it. They whisper insidious messages. Money is hard to come by. I'm not good enough to be wealthy. Rich people are greedy. There's never enough to go around. These beliefs, often absorbed unconsciously from family, culture, or past experiences, solidify into rigid lines on your manuscript, dictating the boundaries of your reality. Trying to overlay positive affirmations on top of these deeply held negative beliefs is like trying to paint a bright mural over a crumbling wall without preparing the surface. The old structure shows through, weakening the new layer. To truly rewrite your manuscript for abundance, you must first acknowledge and begin to gently dissolve these limiting scripts. This doesn't mean fighting them or berating yourself for having them. It involves a principle known as non-resistance. Non-resistance means acknowledging what is, without adding struggle or judgment. When you identify a limiting belief, simply see it for what it is: an old thought pattern, an inherited idea, a conclusion drawn from past pain. Thank it for trying to protect you perhaps, but recognize that it no longer serves your highest good. By observing it with neutral awareness, you stop feeding it energy. Resistance, on the other hand, fighting the belief, feeling angry about it, actually strengthens its hold. Like pushing against a locked door, only makes it feel more solid. Acceptance, paradoxically, is the key that begins to loosen the hinges. Let's visit Serafina, the quiet librarian. She loved the hushed sanctuary of books, but her salary barely covered her modest needs. She dreamed of traveling, of taking art classes, but the thought was always quickly extinguished by a familiar script. People in quiet, service-oriented jobs like mine don't make much money. It's noble, but not prosperous. This belief, inherited from her practical, frugal family, felt like an undeniable truth etched onto her soul. She'd occasionally try affirmations about wealth, but they felt hollow, clashing against this core conviction. One rainy afternoon, while shelving dusty volumes on philosophy, she stumbled upon a passage about accepting reality not as fixed, but as a reflection of perception. It struck her. What if her belief wasn't a universal law, but just a script? She didn't try to forcefully deny it. Instead, she sat quietly and simply acknowledged it. Okay, this is the story I've been telling myself. I see it. This simple act of non-resistant observation was the beginning of loosening its grip. She hadn't erased it yet, but she had stopped reinforcing it with unwavering conviction. Your practice is script identification. Find a quiet moment with a pen and paper, or simply reflect inwardly. Ask yourself, what are 3 negative or limiting beliefs I hold about money or about my ability to attract it? Write them down or hold them gently in your awareness. Don't analyze them deeply or judge yourself for having them right now. The purpose is simply to bring them from the unconscious shadows into the light of your conscious awareness. Recognize them as old scripts written on your magnetic manuscript. This act of identification, done without resistance, is the first step in gently erasing them and making space for new, empowering narratives. Chapter 4. Listening in Sacred Silence. In a world saturated with noise, external chatter, digital notifications, and the incessant monologue of our own minds, we often miss the most profound source of guidance and insight: the silence within. This is not merely the absence of sound, but a deep, resonant stillness we call sacred silence. It is within this inner quietude that you can truly connect with your intuition, perceive subtle energetic shifts, and begin to clearly read the deeper layers of your magnetic manuscript. It's the space where whispers from the universe, nudges from your higher self, and innovative solutions can finally be heard. The constant mental static of worry, planning, analyzing, and replaying events effectively drowns out these subtle communications. It keeps you locked in surface-level awareness, reacting to external circumstances rather than tuning into the inner guidance that can help you navigate them or even transform them. Cultivating moments of sacred silence is like cleaning the lens through which you perceive reality and receive inspiration. It allows you to detach from the urgency of lack and tune into the frequency of possibility. When you intentionally enter this silence, you create a space for clarity. Ideas that seemed elusive suddenly surface. Solutions to problems appear unexpectedly. You might gain insight into those limiting scripts we discussed, seeing their origins more clearly. You might receive intuitive prompts about actions to take, or, just as importantly, actions not to take. This inner listening is crucial for understanding how to effectively revise your magnetic manuscript, ensuring the changes you make are aligned with your authentic self and the natural flow of abundance. Remember Ilara, struggling with her barren garden. Her days were filled with anxious thoughts about the weather, the pests, the bills. Her mind was a whirlwind of worry. One morning, exhausted, she woke before dawn. Instead of immediately starting her chores, she felt an unusual pull to simply sit by her garden as the first light touched the dew-kissed leaves. The world was still quiet. No bird sang yet, no neighbors stirred. In that profound stillness, a sense of peace she hadn't felt in months settled over her. She wasn't trying to solve anything. She just sat, breathing in the cool, damp air. And in that sacred silence, an idea surfaced, clear and simple. Composting with specific local materials she hadn't considered before. It wasn't a shouted command, but a quiet knowing that felt right, resonant. This insight, born from stillness, was the beginning of her garden's transformation. It came not from effortful thinking, but from receptive listening. Your practice today is 5 minutes of silence. Find a time and place where you can be undisturbed for just 5 minutes. Sit comfortably, close your eyes gently. Don't try to force your mind to be empty. That often creates more struggle. Simply bring your gentle attention to your breath. Notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. When thoughts arise, as they inevitably will, acknowledge them without judgment, like clouds passing in the sky, and gently guide your focus back to your breath. The goal isn't perfect emptiness, but the intentional cultivation of a quieter inner space. Do this daily if possible. This simple practice trains your ability to access the sacred silence, opening the channel to deeper wisdom and the intuitive guidance needed to navigate your path to abundance. Chapter 5. The Power of Aligned Belief. Having identified limiting scripts and learned to access the quiet wisdom within sacred silence, we arrive at a crucial element in rewriting your magnetic manuscript: the cultivation of aligned belief. An aligned belief is more than just positive thinking. It's a deep, resonant conviction that aligns your conscious thoughts, your subconscious assumptions, and your emotional state with the reality you desire to create. It's the firm foundation upon which your abundant future is built. You might consciously desire more money, but if deep down you harbor beliefs of unworthiness or scarcity, your belief system is misaligned. It's like trying to tune a radio to a specific station while simultaneously broadcasting interference on the same frequency. The signal gets distorted. The manifestation is weak or non-existent. Doubt, skepticism, and conflicting beliefs act like contradictory edits on your magnetic manuscript, confusing the message you're sending to the universe. Aligned belief, however, creates a clear, powerful, coherent signal. It means choosing to believe in the possibility of abundance before you see the physical evidence. It requires a degree of faith, not blind faith, but a conscious choice to trust in the unseen laws of energy and in your own power as a creator. It's about feeling the truth of your desired reality in your bones, even when your current circumstances seem to argue otherwise. This unwavering inner conviction is what truly solidifies the new, prosperous entries onto your manuscript. Think back to Matteo, the potter. After his moment of finding peace while mending the cracked pot, something shifted within him. He didn't suddenly become wealthy overnight, but he made a conscious decision to believe in the intrinsic value of his art and his skill, regardless of immediate sales figures. He started focusing on the joy of creation itself, infusing each piece with this newfound sense of quiet confidence and appreciation. He stopped comparing himself constantly to others. When doubts arose, he gently acknowledged them, then consciously redirected his focus back to his chosen belief: my work has value and it will find the right homes. This wasn't about delusion. It was about aligning his inner state with the outcome he desired. He began to hold the feeling of being a successful, appreciated artist, even while his outward reality was still catching up. This aligned belief became a powerful magnet. Your practice is belief affirmation. Choose one of the limiting beliefs you identified in Chapter 3. Now, craft a positive present tense affirmation that directly counteracts it and represents the aligned belief you wish to cultivate. For example, if the limiting belief was money is hard to come by, your affirmation could be money flows to me easily and effortlessly, or I am open and receptive to unexpected sources of income, or abundance is my natural state. Choose words that resonate deeply and feel empowering to you. Then find a few moments during your day, perhaps during your 5 minutes of silence, or while looking in the mirror, to repeat this affirmation silently or aloud. Don't just say the words, try to feel the truth of them. Feel the ease, the openness, the abundance. This isn't about convincing your logical mind instantly, but about consistently planting the seed of this new, aligned belief into the fertile ground of your consciousness, gently overwriting the old script on your magnetic manuscript. Part 2. deepening, activating, editing the magnetic manuscript. Chapter 6. Tuning the inner resonance chamber. We've established that your emotional state, your vibrational frequency, is the ink that writes upon your magnetic manuscript. Now, we move deeper into the practice of consciously tuning this frequency. Imagine within you an energetic space, an inner resonance chamber. This chamber amplifies the feelings you hold most consistently and broadcasts them out into the universe, attracting experiences that match that resonance. If the chamber habitually resonates with lack or worry, it sends out a signal for more of the same. But you have the power to consciously adjust the tuning. Tuning your inner resonance chamber isn't about suppressing negative emotions or forcing constant artificial happiness. It's about deliberately choosing to cultivate and amplify positive, high-frequency emotions like gratitude, joy, peace, love, and appreciation as your predominant state. These emotions resonate at a frequency aligned with abundance and well-being. By making them your energetic home base, you effectively change the signal being broadcast from your inner resonance chamber. You begin to naturally attract circumstances that feel good, including financial ease and opportunity. This tuning process requires awareness and gentle, consistent effort. It's like learning to play a musical instrument. At first, you might hit some discordant notes, but with practice, you learn to produce clear, harmonious tones more consistently. You start by noticing your current emotional frequency, and then consciously choosing thoughts, activities, or memories that evoke higher vibrations. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tuning forks available. Focusing on what you already have, appreciating the small joys, immediately shifts your resonance towards sufficiency and away from lack. Consider Serafina, the librarian, who had begun to identify her limiting belief about prosperity. While she wasn't yet seeing major financial changes, she decided to experiment with tuning her inner state. Her library work, though quiet, often felt monotonous. She started a small, private ritual. Each morning, before opening hours, she'd walk slowly through the silent aisles, consciously finding things to appreciate: the smell of old paper, the way sunlight slanted through the tall windows, the potential for discovery held within each book. She started a tiny gratitude jar on her desk, dropping in slips of paper, noting small joys, a patron's smile, finding a rare requested book, a perfectly brewed cup of tea. These small acts weren't directly aimed at manifesting cash, but at intentionally cultivating feelings of appreciation and contentment within her inner resonance chamber. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, her baseline feeling state began to shift from quiet resignation to gentle gratitude. The resonance within her was changing. Your practice today is resonance tuning. Set aside just 1 or 2 minutes. Close your eyes and choose a positive emotion you'd like to cultivate more of, perhaps gratitude, joy, peace, or love. Bring to mind a memory, a person, a place, or even an imagined scenario that genuinely evokes this feeling within you. Don't just think about the feeling. Allow yourself to fully feel it in your body. Where do you sense it? What does it feel like? Breathe into that sensation, letting it expand within your inner resonance chamber. Hold it gently for a minute or 2. Do this practice regularly, especially when you notice yourself slipping into lower frequency states. It's a simple yet profound way to consciously adjust your vibration and retune your inner chamber to the frequency of abundance you desire. Chapter 7. Energetic Inscription. Writing your desire. Now that you understand the blueprint, the ink, the limiting scripts, and the importance of tuning your inner resonance, it's time to consciously write your specific desires onto your magnetic manuscript. This is not about desperate pleading or demanding. It's a focused, creative act we call energetic inscription. It involves using the combined power of your focused imagination and elevated emotion to clearly impress your desired outcome onto the energetic field within you. Think of your magnetic manuscript as receptive, like fertile soil. Energetic inscription is the act of planting a specific seed, your desire, into that soil with intention and care. The tools for this inscription are vivid visualization and potent feeling. You must see your desire not as something distant or hoped for, but as something already accomplished, already real in the energetic realm. And crucially, you must feel the emotions associated with having already achieved it, the joy, the relief, the gratitude, the freedom. This combination of clear image and powerful feeling creates a strong, coherent imprint on the manuscript, signaling to the universe exactly what you are calling forth. The key is to focus on the essence and the feeling of the desire, rather than getting rigidly attached to the exact form or timing of its appearance. If your desire is for more cash, visualize not just the money itself, but what that money represents to you, the feeling of security, the freedom to travel, the joy of generosity, the peace of mind knowing bills are paid. Immerse yourself in those end result feelings. This emotional signature is what carries the most magnetic power. Ilara, having found insight in the sacred silence, began to practice energetic inscription for her garden and her finances. Each evening, after her 5 minutes of silence, she would spend a few more minutes vividly imagining her garden beds overflowing with vibrant, healthy vegetables. She saw herself easily harvesting bountiful crops, feeling the satisfying weight of the produce in her hands. She pictured happy customers at the market eagerly buying her vegetables, handing her cash with smiles. Most importantly, she didn't just see these images. She allowed herself to fully feel the accompanying emotions, the pride in her work, the joy of abundance, the relief of financial ease, the gratitude for the earth's generosity. She held these images and feelings gently but clearly, inscribing them onto her inner manuscript with the ink of positive emotion. Your practice is energetic inscription. Choose one specific financial desire or a feeling state related to money. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed for 5 to 10 minutes. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and consciously tune into a feeling of gratitude or peace. Now bring your desire to mind. Create a vivid mental scene of that desire already fulfilled. See it, hear it, sense it. Who is there? What are you doing? Make it as real and detailed as possible. Then crucially, step into the feeling. How does it feel in your body to have this desire realized? Amplify that feeling, the joy, the relief, the security, the excitement. Immerse yourself in that positive emotional state for several minutes, as if it's happening right now. When you feel complete, gently release the image and feeling, trusting that you have successfully inscribed it onto your magnetic manuscript. Repeat this practice regularly, reinforcing the energetic imprint of your fulfilled desire. Chapter 8. Trusting Divine Timing. One of the most challenging yet essential aspects of consciously working with your magnetic manuscript is learning to trust in divine timing. After you have clarified your desire, aligned your belief, tuned your resonance, and performed energetic inscription, there is a tendency for the human mind to become impatient. We want results now. We start looking anxiously for signs, questioning the process, wondering why the money hasn't appeared yet. This impatience, this need to control the when and how, actually introduces static and resistance back into the process. It's like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it's growing. You disrupt the natural unfolding. Divine timing operates on a wisdom far beyond our linear understanding. The universe orchestrates countless variables, aligning people, opportunities, and circumstances in ways we often cannot foresee, to bring our desires into manifestation in the most harmonious and beneficial way. Sometimes this happens quickly. Other times, there's a necessary gestation period where inner shifts need to occur or external pieces need to fall into place. Trusting divine timing means releasing the need to dictate the schedule. It means having faith that once you've clearly inscribed your desire onto the manuscript and aligned your energy, the universe is responding, even if you can't see the movement immediately. This trust isn't passive resignation, it's an active state of knowing. It's holding the conviction that your desire is on its way, in perfect time, through the perfect channels. It allows you to remain in a state of receptive non-resistance, keeping the energetic pathway clear for abundance to flow in. Worrying about when it will happen effectively slams the door shut. Trusting that it will happen keeps the door wide open. Matteo, the potter, experienced this directly. After aligning his belief and practicing inscribing the feeling of being a successful artist, he initially felt a surge of impatience. Weeks passed, and while he felt better internally, his sales hadn't dramatically increased. Old doubts resurfaced, but remembering the peace he found in the process, he made a conscious choice to trust. He continued creating his best work, focusing on the joy of it, releasing the outcome. He stopped checking his online shop obsessively. He adopted the inner mantra, "It is coming," in perfect time. One afternoon, a woman entered his studio, not a typical market-goer, but a curator from a well-respected gallery in a nearby city. She had seen one of his mended pots online, shared by someone who'd bought it months earlier. She was captivated by his unique style and philosophy. This connection, leading to a significant commission and gallery representation, happened not because Matteo forced it, but because he had stayed aligned and trusted the unfolding, allowing the how and when to be orchestrated by a larger wisdom. Your practice is the letting go affirmation. Whenever you feel the grip of impatience, anxiety, or doubt about when or how your desire will manifest, pause. Take a deep breath. Gently place a hand on your heart and silently or softly repeat, "I trust the process of life. I release the need to control. My desire is unfolding in perfect divine timing." Repeat it a few times, allowing the feeling of trust and release to settle within you. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, but about consciously choosing trust over worry. It helps you stay aligned and keeps your magnetic manuscript clear of the smudges of impatience, allowing the universe to work its magic in its own perfect way. Chapter 9. Weaving Threads of Golden Gratitude. Gratitude is more than just good manners. It's one of the most powerful accelerators in the process of manifestation. We've touched upon it as a tool for resonance tuning, but its power extends further. When you consciously practice gratitude, especially gratitude for things that haven't yet materialized in your physical reality, but you trust are coming, you weave potent golden threads into the fabric of your magnetic manuscript. This future gratitude acts as a powerful declaration of faith and aligns your energy profoundly with the receiving state. Thinking about the journey of manifestation, imagine a golden thread of destiny connecting you to your desired outcome. This thread represents the energetic pathway along which your desire travels into your experience. Every time you express genuine gratitude for the blessings you already have, and importantly, for the blessings you know are on their way, you strengthen and illuminate this golden thread. You are essentially saying to the universe, "Thank you, I know it is done. I am ready to receive." This preemptive gratitude dissolves doubt and resistance, creating a smooth, clear channel for your manifestation to arrive. Focusing only on what's missing reinforces the energy of lack. Focusing on gratitude, both for the present and the anticipated future, shifts your entire energetic posture to one of sufficiency and reception. It acknowledges the abundance that already exists and signals your openness to experiencing more. It rewrites the script on your magnetic manuscript from one of waiting for to one of thankful for. Serafina, the librarian, began incorporating this deeper level of gratitude into her daily routine. Beyond appreciating the small joys in the library, she started a simple evening practice. Before sleep, she would write in a small notebook 3 things she was grateful for that day. Then, she added a crucial step. She wrote down 1 or 2 things she was grateful for as if they had already happened, specifically related to her desire for greater financial freedom and purpose. I am so grateful for the unexpected financial opportunity that allows me to travel, she might write, or I am deeply thankful for the clarity I now have on how to use my skills to serve and prosper. She wrote these statements with genuine feeling, allowing herself to experience the gratitude as if these things were already her reality. This practice wove strong threads of golden gratitude into her manuscript, reinforcing her belief and accelerating the arrival of the very opportunities she was thankful for. Your practice is future gratitude journaling. Dedicate a few minutes each day, perhaps in the evening or morning, to this practice. Write down at least 3 things you are genuinely grateful for in your current life, big or small. Then, write down 1 to 3 things you are grateful for, as if your desires have already manifested. Focus on the financial abundance or related experiences you are calling in. Examples: I am so grateful for the ease and flow of money in my life. Thank you for the perfect clients, customers who appreciate my work. I am deeply thankful for the feeling of financial security and freedom I now enjoy. Write them in the present tense, infused with sincere feeling. This simple yet profound act strengthens the golden thread of destiny, connecting you to your desires, and powerfully edits your magnetic manuscript with the energy of fulfilled abundance. Chapter 10. Staying centered amidst the storm. The journey of rewriting your magnetic manuscript and attracting abundance isn't always a smooth, linear path. Life happens, challenges arise, setbacks occur, doubts may resurface. You might face unexpected expenses, delays, or situations that seem to contradict the very abundance you are cultivating. It is during these storms that your ability to stay centered, to maintain your chosen vibrational frequency and aligned belief, is truly tested and strengthened. Falling back into old patterns of worry, fear, or frustration when faced with difficulty is understandable, but it effectively pauses or even reverses the positive edits you've been making to your manuscript. It reinforces the old scripts of struggle. The key is not to pretend the challenges aren't happening, but to practice non-resistance towards them while holding firm to your inner state of trust and abundance. It's about acknowledging the storm on the surface while staying anchored in the calm depths within. This requires conscious presence and a refusal to let external circumstances dictate your internal reality. Remember, your outer world is a reflection of your predominant inner state. Temporary challenges don't have to derail your manifestation unless you allow them to fundamentally shift your core frequency and belief. See them as tests of your resolve, opportunities to deepen your trust in the process and in divine timing. Respond practically as needed, but guard your inner resonance fiercely. Maintain the feeling state of your desire fulfilled, even amidst apparent contradiction. Zalara experienced this firsthand. After weeks of cultivating abundance and seeing promising growth in her garden, thanks to her new composting methods, a sudden, fierce hailstorm swept through her village. Several of her most promising plants were damaged. Her initial reaction was despair, the old voice of scarcity screaming, "See, it's always something." But then, remembering her practices, she paused. She took deep breaths, acknowledged the damage and her disappointment without letting it consume her. She practiced non-resistance towards the event itself. It had happened. Then she consciously shifted her focus back to her overall vision, a thriving, abundant garden, providing for her needs. She affirmed her trust in divine timing and the resilience of nature. Instead of dwelling on the loss, she focused on tending to the surviving plants and salvaging what she could, holding the feeling of eventual recovery and continued abundance. Her ability to stay centered during this setback prevented the storm from rewriting her manuscript back to lack. Your practice is the centering breath. This is a tool to use in the moment when you face a challenge, setback, or a wave of doubt threatens to pull you off your vibrational center. Stop what you are doing. Close your eyes if possible, or simply lower your gaze. Take 3 slow, deep, conscious breaths. Inhale deeply, filling your belly and chest. Exhale slowly and completely, releasing tension. With each breath, consciously bring your awareness to the center of your being, your heart space or your solar plexus. Feel for a sense of inner stillness or strength, however small. Silently affirm, even amidst this, I am centered. I trust the process. My abundance is assured. Use this simple practice anytime you feel overwhelmed or triggered by external events. It helps you detach from the drama, reconnect with your inner power, and maintain the integrity of the abundant narrative you are writing on your magnetic manuscript, regardless of the temporary weather outside. Part 3. Mastery, Becoming, Embodying. The Money Magnet. Chapter 11. Living as If. The Embodied Manuscript. We now enter the final phase of our journey. Mastery. This is where you move from consciously editing your magnetic manuscript to fully embodying its new, abundant script. The most powerful way to solidify your manifestations and truly become a money magnet is to begin living, feeling, thinking, and acting as if your desires have already materialized. This isn't about pretending or being delusional. It's about aligning your entire being, your energy, your posture, your choices, with the frequency of your fulfilled desire. It's the ultimate statement of faith and the final step in printing your inner blueprint onto the canvas of your outer reality. When you live as if, you naturally make different choices. You carry yourself with more confidence. You speak with greater certainty. You might invest in yourself or your dreams in small ways, signaling your belief in their inevitable success. You interact with money, even small amounts, with appreciation rather than anxiety. This embodiment sends an undeniable, coherent signal to the universe. This is who I am now. This is my reality. The universe, mirroring your state of being, has no choice but to rearrange itself to match this embodied truth. This doesn't necessarily mean spending money you don't have. It's often about subtle shifts in attitude and action. How would the financially free version of you walk, talk, or make decisions? How would they handle their current resources? How would they approach opportunities? Embodying that energy, even in small ways, begins to magnetize the larger experiences that align with it. You are essentially becoming the person who naturally attracts the abundance you seek. Matteo, the potter, began to embody his success before the large gallery commission arrived. He started treating his small studio not just as a workspace, but as a professional gallery space. He arranged his finished pieces more thoughtfully, invested in slightly better lighting, and created simple, elegant price tags, even if few people were buying initially. He began researching shipping methods for larger orders, as if preparing for them. When talking about his work, he spoke with quiet passion and conviction, not apology or uncertainty. He started dressing a little more professionally when working in the studio, embodying the successful artist he knew himself to be becoming. These weren't grand gestures, but consistent actions aligned with the as-if principle, reinforcing the reality inscribed on his manuscript and making him energetically receptive to the opportunity when it arrived. Your practice is the as-if action. Today, identify one small action you can take that aligns with the version of you who has already achieved your financial desire. What is one thing you would do, say, think, or feel differently if the money or opportunity were already yours? Choose something simple and doable. Perhaps it's clearing clutter from your workspace to make room for new projects. Maybe it's researching a dream vacation or investment purely from a place of joyful anticipation. Perhaps it's treating yourself to a slightly nicer coffee, savoring it with a feeling of deservingness. Or maybe it's simply walking taller with your shoulders back, embodying confidence and ease. Choose one as-if action and do it today with conscious intention, feeling the energy of your already fulfilled desire as you do. This practice helps bridge the gap between your inner manuscript and your outer reality, accelerating the manifestation process by embodying the end result now. Chapter 12. Recognizing the Cosmic Echo. As you consistently work with your magnetic manuscript, aligning your beliefs, tuning your frequency, practicing gratitude, and living as if, the universe begins to respond. These responses often come not as the final big manifestation all at once, but as subtle signs, synchronicities, and nudges. We can think of these as the cosmic echo, the universe whispering back to you, "I hear you. Your message is received." Things are shifting. Learning to recognize and acknowledge this echo is crucial for maintaining faith and momentum. These echoes can take many forms. You might suddenly hear or read something directly related to your desire. You might encounter someone who offers a piece of advice or a connection seemingly out of the blue. You might notice recurring numbers or symbols that feel significant. Small, unexpected windfalls might appear, finding money, receiving a small discount, getting an unexpected gift. Opportunities that align with your goals might surface, even if they aren't the ultimate desire itself. These aren't mere coincidences. They are feedback from the quantum field, reflecting the changes you've initiated within your energetic blueprint. They are trail markers confirming you are on the right path. The key is to pay attention with open, appreciative awareness without desperately seeking signs. When you notice a synchronicity or a small positive manifestation, acknowledge it with gratitude. See it as evidence that your magnetic manuscript is actively being read and responded to. This recognition reinforces your belief, amplifies your positive frequency, and strengthens the connection, the golden thread of destiny, between you and your ultimate desire. Ignoring or dismissing these echoes can weaken your faith and slow the process. Celebrating them, however small, keeps the energy flowing and builds momentum. Serafina, diligently practicing her gratitude and as-if principles, started noticing these cosmic echoes. While shelving books, she'd find volumes on personal finance or entrepreneurship practically falling into her hands. Patrons would strike up conversations about starting small businesses or finding fulfilling work that also paid well, topics rarely discussed before in her quiet library corner. She received an unexpected refund check for a small overpayment from months ago. A flyer for a workshop on turning your passion into profit appeared on the community notice board. Initially, she might have dismissed these as random occurrences, but tuned into the process, she began recognizing them as echoes. She started a small section in her gratitude journal specifically for these synchronicities, labeling it Cosmic Echoes. Acknowledging them filled her with a quiet excitement and strengthened her conviction that her larger financial shift was indeed underway. Your practice today is the synchronicity log. Keep a small notebook or a note on your phone dedicated to logging these cosmic echoes. Throughout your day and week, Pay gentle attention to any unusual coincidences, helpful encounters, unexpected small gains, or information related to your desires that flows your way. When you notice one, jot it down briefly. Don't overanalyze, just record it. At the end of the day or week, review your log. Seeing these small confirmations collected together can be incredibly powerful for reinforcing your belief and appreciating the subtle ways the universe is already responding to the changes in your magnetic manuscript. Acknowledge each entry with a silent thank you, recognizing it as proof that your manifestation is in progress. Chapter 13. The Art of Effortless Receiving. Having navigated the stages of awakening, deepening your practice, and beginning to embody your desired state, we arrive at a potentially paradoxical yet vital aspect of mastery, the art of effortless receiving. After all the inner work, the tuning, the inscription, the aligning, there comes a point where you must simply let go and allow the manifestation to arrive. This requires releasing the last vestiges of control, struggle, and attachment, and cultivating a state of open, graceful receptivity. Effortless receiving is rooted in deep trust in yourself, trust in the process, trust in divine timing, and trust in the universe's inherent abundance. It means understanding that your primary work was the inner alignment. The how and when of the manifestation are not your responsibility to micromanage. Trying too hard, constantly checking for results, or worrying if you're doing it right creates energetic constriction. It's like holding your breath while waiting for a gift. You can't fully receive it. True receiving happens when you exhale, relax, and open your hands and heart with joyful expectation, but without desperate need. This state of being requires a profound level of non-resistance, not just to challenges, but to the manifestation process itself. It's about getting out of your own way. It's finding joy and fulfillment in your present moments, knowing that your desire is already secured in the energetic realm, and simply allowing it the space to materialize in its own perfect timing and form. This doesn't mean becoming passive or lazy. You still take inspired action when guided, but the energy behind the action shifts from striving to flowing, from effortful pushing to joyful allowing. Remember Ilara? After the hailstorm, she centered herself and focused on recovery, trusting in abundance. She continued tending her garden with care, but released the frantic worry about selling her produce. She focused on the simple joy of working the earth. One afternoon, the owner of a popular new farm-to-table restaurant in town stopped by unexpectedly. He'd heard whispers about her unusually vibrant vegetables from a neighbor. He was looking for a local supplier of unique, high-quality greens. He tasted a leaf, was instantly impressed by the flavor, a result of her attuned care and compost, and offered her a standing weekly order that far exceeded what she had hoped to make at the market. The opportunity came not when she was anxiously pushing, but when she had settled into a state of trusting, appreciative non-resistance, allowing the universe to deliver in a way she hadn't specifically planned. She was open to receive. Your practice is the receiving visualization. Find a comfortable, quiet space. Close your eyes and take a few relaxing breaths, centering yourself. Imagine yourself standing in a beautiful, serene place, perhaps a sunlit meadow, a peaceful beach, or beneath a starry sky. Now, visualize gentle streams of golden light or energy flowing towards you from all directions. This light represents abundance, opportunities, money, and well-being. See yourself opening your arms wide, with palms facing upwards, in a gesture of willing and joyful acceptance. Feel any tension or resistance melting away. Silently affirm, I am open and ready to receive all the good the universe has for me. I receive with ease, joy, and gratitude. Feel the warmth and positive energy of the golden light flowing into you, filling you up. Remain in this visualization for a few minutes, simply basking in the feeling of effortless, graceful receiving. Practice this regularly to cultivate the energetic posture of openness that allows your desires to flow into your life without struggle. Chapter 14. Becoming the Magnet, Radiating Abundance. The ultimate stage of this journey isn't just about attracting money or specific desires, it's about becoming the magnet itself. It's about fundamentally shifting your core identity and energetic signature so that you naturally resonate with, radiate, and therefore attract abundance in all its forms. When you reach this level of mastery, you are no longer solely focused on editing the magnetic manuscript for specific outcomes. You are the living embodiment of an abundant manuscript. This state arises when the principles we've explored, aligned belief, high vibrational frequency, gratitude, trust, non-resistance, living as if, become your natural way of being, not just techniques you apply. Your baseline energy is one of sufficiency, generosity, and flow. You operate from a place of knowing your inherent worth and connection to the infinite source of all supply. You see abundance everywhere, not just in money, but in love, creativity, opportunities, and simple daily joys. A key characteristic of someone who has truly become a magnet is a natural inclination towards generosity, not out of obligation, but from a genuine feeling of overflow. When you know, deep within, that you are connected to an unlimited source, sharing your resources feels natural and joyful. This act of giving, stemming from a place of true abundance rather than perceived lack, actually amplifies your magnetic power. It keeps the energy circulating, demonstrating your trust in the continuous flow and signaling to the universe that you are a conduit for prosperity. Matteo the potter eventually reached this state. His gallery representation brought success, but more profoundly, his inner state had transformed. He no longer worried about sales. He created from joy and trusted his needs would be met. He found himself naturally wanting to share his knowledge. He started offering informal workshops to aspiring potters in his community, charging only a nominal fee simply because he enjoyed nurturing their creativity. He generously shared tips and even materials. This wasn't a calculated move, but a natural expression of the abundant energy he now embodied. Paradoxically, this generosity led to even more opportunities, collaborations, larger commissions, and a loyal following, who were attracted not just to his art, but to the authentic, abundant energy he radiated. He had become the magnet. Your practice is the generosity mindset. Today, consciously look for one small way to express generosity from a place of abundance, not obligation. This doesn't have to involve money. Offer a genuine compliment. Share your time or expertise freely with someone who needs it. Offer a helping hand without expecting anything in return. Tip a little extra if you can, feeling the joy of circulation. Donate items you no longer need. As you perform this small act of generosity, focus on the feeling of having enough to share. Feel the flow, the connection, the inner richness. Recognize that true abundance isn't just about hoarding resources, but about participating in the joyful circulation of energy. Cultivating this generosity mindset reinforces your identity as an abundant being, solidifying your status as a powerful, radiating money magnet. Chapter 15. The Ever-Evolving Manuscript. Our journey culminates here, but the process of creation never truly ends. Understanding and working with your magnetic manuscript is not about reaching a final destination called manifestation complete. It is about embracing manifestation as a continuous, dynamic, ever-evolving process that unfolds throughout your life. The magnetic manuscript is not a static document you write once and file away. It's a living blueprint that you can constantly refine, update, and expand as you grow and your desires evolve. Having learned to consciously edit your manuscript to attract cash and overcome initial limitations, you now possess the tools and understanding to apply this wisdom to all areas of your life: relationships, health, creativity, purpose. You realize that becoming a money magnet was perhaps just the first chapter in a much larger story of conscious creation. Life is a constant flow of energy, and you are its co-creator. As you achieve one desire, new desires will naturally emerge. As you reach one level of abundance, you may feel called to expand into greater levels of impact or experience. The mastery lies not just in achieving specific goals, but in embracing your role as the author of your reality. It's about maintaining your connection to sacred silence, consistently tuning your inner resonance chamber, weaving golden threads of gratitude, trusting divine timing, and living from a place of aligned belief and non-resistance as your default state. It's understanding that you always have the power to pick up the energetic pen and write a new chapter, to revise a limiting paragraph, to infuse your manuscript with ever higher frequencies of joy, love, and abundance. Consider Serafina. The unexpected financial opportunity she attracted didn't mark the end of her story. It was a beginning. It provided the resources and confidence she needed to pursue a long-held dream, creating a mobile library to bring books and literacy programs to underserved communities. She used her newfound understanding of the magnetic manuscript not just to maintain her own abundance, but to consciously inscribe this new, larger vision onto its pages. She continued her practices, tuning her energy to the frequency of this expanded purpose, trusting the resources and connections needed would appear. Her manuscript and her life continued to evolve, becoming richer and more impactful. She understood that manifestation was not a one-time event, but a lifelong dance of creation. Your final practice for this journey is future visioning. Take a few quiet moments today. Acknowledge how far you've come in understanding your power as a creator. Now gently allow your awareness to expand. Dream a little bigger. What is the next level of abundance, joy, or fulfillment you feel drawn to create? What new chapter feels exciting to write onto your magnetic manuscript? Don't limit yourself based on current circumstances. Simply allow yourself to envision a beautiful, expansive future possibility. Hold this vision lightly, with excitement and trust, knowing that the principles you've learned give you the power to begin inscribing it onto your ever-evolving manuscript whenever you choose. Celebrate your journey and embrace the infinite potential that lies ahead. You are the author. The manuscript is yours. Write miracles. Conclusion. We have reached the end of our shared time together, but it is truly just the beginning of your conscious journey as a money magnet, as the author of your magnetic manuscript. We began by unveiling the unseen blueprint, understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner landscape. We learned that emotions are the potent ink, and limiting beliefs the faded scripts needing release through non-resistance. We discovered the wisdom held within sacred silence and the power of aligned belief. We deepened our practice, learning to tune the inner resonance chamber, to consciously inscribe desires through focused energy and feeling, and to weave golden threads of gratitude, both present and future. We embraced the necessity of trusting divine timing and staying centered amidst life's inevitable storms. Finally, we explored mastery, embodying the as-if principle, recognizing the cosmic echo of synchronicity, cultivating the art of effortless, receiving and ultimately becoming the radiant magnet itself through a mindset of generosity and flow. We acknowledged that this manuscript is ever evolving, a continuous dance of creation. Remember the core message: The power to attract wealth, abundance, and your deepest desires resides not in frantic external effort, but within the quiet, potent realm of your inner world. It flows from the conscious tending of your magnetic manuscript through stillness, belief, resonant feeling, and unwavering trust. Carry these tools with you. Continue your practices, even if just for a few minutes each day. Trust the process. Notice the shifts, however subtle. Celebrate the echoes. Live from the knowing that you are inherently worthy, inherently connected to infinite abundance, and inherently powerful. The rare book is within you. Its pages are turning with every breath, every feeling, every choice. May you continue to write upon them with wisdom, courage, and joy. May your life unfold as a masterpiece of prosperity, purpose, and profound peace. You are the money magnet. Go forth and shine.